Do you use Google Docs? Lots of labs do. It's great for sharing documents, spreadsheets, and presentations online, and it allows group editing of a single item. It's got a simple interface that more and more scientists are becoming familiar with every day. That's why when we brought out the latest version of the electronic lab notebook eCAT, we made the interface look a lot like Google Docs. We want you to take advantage of all the extra functionality that eCAT offers without having to spend time finding your way around an unfamiliar system. I'll tell you a bit about the functionality in a moment, but first, let's take a brief look at the interfaces. The first thing you'll want to do is either create a new record or import an existing one. In both Google Docs and eCAT, you can do this at the top left. Then across the top of the page, in both Google Docs and eCAT, there's a set of tabs giving you access to other things you can do. And finally, they both give you a list of your recent records in the main body of the page, just like your email inbox. So if you use Google Docs, you should find it easy to get around eCAT. And there's lots of things you can do in eCAT that are useful in documenting experiments and sharing information that you can't do with Google Docs. It's a long list. Here are some of the main ones. Create templates with the structure that suit your research, rather than the structure imposed by a spreadsheet, a Word document, or a wiki. There are lots of templates: experiment templates, chip experiments, antibodies. Use links between records to create databases that capture your workflow and relationships, like those between an experiment and the samples used in the experiment, as in this example. Set up uniform methods of entering data. You can utilize structure in your research methods using eCAT. Let's look at two experiments. This is a notebook page. It looks like a paper lab notebook. All the data is in one field. Look, here are the results. This is an experiment. It has 7 fields, so that some structure is applied. Here, the results go into the results field. With eCAT, you can have as much or as little structure as suits your lab. Set up groups of users and variable permissions on a record-by-record basis. For example, for a postdocs experiment, you can give view-only permission to a graduate student who has been assigned to observe the experiment, and view and edit permission to the PI, who needs to view and comment on the experiment. View a full audit trail of all actions undertaken in eCAT. Sign records. After an experiment or another record is ready to be reviewed, it can be signed by your PI or someone else in the lab. After a record has been signed, it can no longer be edited, but you can amend it. Send messages and set tasks. And messages and tasks can be associated with particular records in eCAT. In summary, with eCAT you get all the advantages of an online collaborative tool like Google Docs and the ability for everyone in the lab to bring their lab books online in a single, integrated, collaborative environment. If that sounds interesting, why not sign your lab up for a free trial of eCAT? Or get your own free personal account. You can do that at www.axiope.com.